Hello, this is John Hart, and we'll be going over z-scores and obtaining data at this archive data site, State Cancer Profiles. So we can go to any one of these buttons here, demographics, screening. Let's go to demographics, and we can make this a little bigger, and we'll click on interactive maps. And we're going to look at all states by state, and we'll start out with demographic data, and we'll look at income and median family income and all races, both genders, all ages, and then we'll click on generate map, and we can include that in our report, and we'll save the data here. We'll click on export and save that to your computer, and then we'll go back to this and we'll get our cancer data. So we'll click on, we'll leave everything else the same. We're just changing this to compare apples to apples, with the exception of this variable. Instead of income, we're going to look at cancer this time, obtain cancer data. And let's, we have to change this one also, and I just clicked all sites and mortality, and we'll keep everything else the same. So we're changing these three, and we'll scroll down and generate that map. It looks similar, the red, for example, about the same area, and we'll save that data. And so we have two Excel files so far, and we'll have a third one in waiting, where we will copy the two columns of data. When we open the income data, the file, for example, it'll look like this, and this is what we want. We don't want average for a state, average for the country. We want to start out with the first state, and copy and paste into the third one, which I have here. And so here's the states and income, and then we'll do this, go back to the cancer Excel, and we'll do the same and include the state again, so we make sure each state lines up on each row, one row for one state, and make sure both columns are for the same state. And we'll copy and paste that into our third Excel. So when you have a second column of states, just look across at Alabama, make sure it matches. Alaska, make sure it matches. I already deleted that column. Okay, then we're ready to calculate. Well, first we could make a scatter plot just out of curiosity to see what the relationship is between the two variables. So we do not need to change it to z-scores for a scatter plot. So click on Insert. Scatter is here. Hold your mouse over the different charts, line, graph, scatter, and we'll just do this first one. And we can reformat this to get rid of these spaces if we want, or leave it like that. And we can change, it starts at 0, so it looks like Excel is subscribing to the zero y-axis philosophy, school of thought. So we'll click on Format Axis. It looks like the bottom for, this is a cancer variable here, so maybe 80, 90. So minimum value 90. So we can spread it out a little bit, get a better idea. So as income goes up, it looks like in general, cancer is going down. And we can add a trend line to verify that, and we can see it's going down. And let's maybe get a chart where we can label these variables. We don't need that. So down here would be income, and our dependent variable is in the y-axis, cancer. So that's a scatter plot. And I've got my formula here to calculate z-scores. So we'll do income first. Start out with equals and data point. Here's a data point. And I've already calculated the mean is 77,465. We'll call that 466. 77,466 minus, what did I say? 77,466. 77,466. And then divide that by the standard deviation, 14,825. 14,825. Let's put the first two terms in parentheses and then hit enter. Excuse me. So minus means that this data point is below the mean, 64,000. Yeah, below the mean. And let's do the same for cancer. Equals a data point. Here's the data point, 170 in Alabama. And we're subtracting, according to the equation here, minus the mean, which is, and so we're looking at cancer now, so we use this. Mean 154, and we can put 0.1 if you like, give it a slightly increased precision. We'll put that in parentheses while we're there. And divided by standard deviation is the slash, and the standard deviation 15.5. Or we can round that to 16. And the data point is about equal to the average. 1 would be equal. So it's just slightly above the average. So 170 and 154, yeah. So it's above the average. And do we want to do this for each row? I don't know about you, but here's a shortcut. Highlight and get on the corner, make it a plus sign like that, a skinny one. Not an obese one, but a skinny one. Keep moving it around slightly. Left click, hold it down, and you're dragging down that formula for all rows. And now we can interpret state by state. Okay, Alabama has a income below the average, national average, and its cancer is a little above. So that kind of goes along with the scatter plot we're looking at, where a lower income tends to correlate with a higher cancer rate. Next state is Alaska. So income is a little above average and its cancer is a little below average, so that's good. Good for Alaska. Income is down in Arizona, a little bit below average. We can just kind of touch base here, 70,000 and 77,000. So it's about 7,000 less than the national average. So lower income, yet lower cancer. So that's we don't have a perfect correlation here. Here is a lowest income, yet it looks like it has the lowest cancer. So it's not a perfect correlation. And here's another example. And that concludes this presentation. So the benefit of z-scores, you can look state by state, whereas a chart here gives you a general idea of the group, and this that we can look at individual states. Okay, and thank you for watching.